Fossil fuels are the main source of energy for most of the world. They provide electricity, heat, transportation, and industry. But fossil fuels also have many drawbacks. They are non-renewable, meaning they will eventually run out. They are also harmful to the environment and human health, causing air pollution, greenhouse gas emissions, and climate change. Renewable sources of energy, such as wind, solar, hydro, and biofuels, offer a cleaner and more sustainable alternative to fossil fuels. They can reduce greenhouse gas emissions, improve air quality, and create jobs. However, renewable sources also face many challenges in replacing fossil fuels. One of the challenges is variability. Renewable sources depend on natural conditions that are not always predictable or consistent. For example, solar panels do not produce electricity at night or on cloudy days. Wind turbines do not spin when there is no wind. This means that renewable sources need backup power or storage systems to ensure a reliable supply of electricity. Another challenge is cost. Renewable sources are becoming cheaper and more efficient over time, but they still require high upfront investments and subsidies to compete with fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are often cheaper because they do not reflect their true social and environmental costs. For example, fossil fuels receive subsidies from governments and do not pay for the damages they cause to the climate and health. A third challenge is infrastructure. Renewable sources need new or upgraded grids, transmission lines, and distribution networks to deliver electricity to consumers. They also need new or adapted vehicles, buildings, and appliances to use electricity instead of fossil fuels. These changes require planning, coordination, and cooperation among different sectors and stakeholders. A fourth challenge is equity. Renewable sources have different impacts on different regions, countries, and communities. Some areas have more potential for renewable sources than others. Some countries have more resources and capacity to develop renewable sources than others. Some communities benefit from renewable sources while others bear the costs or risks. These differences raise ethical and moral questions about how to distribute the benefits and burdens of the energy transition. These are some of the challenges of transitioning from fossil fuels to renewable sources of energy. The transition is not easy or fast, but it is necessary and possible. It requires innovation, collaboration, and commitment from all actors involved: governments, businesses, civil society, and individuals. Fossil fuels are the main source of energy for most countries in the world. They include natural gas, coal, and petroleum, which are burned to produce electricity, heat, and transportation fuels. But how do fossil fuels contribute to economic growth? And what are the potential benefits of using them for development? One of the main benefits of fossil fuels is that they provide cheap and reliable energy. Fossil fuels are abundant and widely available, and they can be easily transported and stored. They also have a high energy density, meaning that they can produce a lot of energy from a small amount of fuel. This makes them cost-effective and convenient for consumers and businesses. Another benefit of fossil fuels is that they support industries and jobs. Fossil fuels are essential for many sectors of the economy, such as manufacturing, agriculture, construction, and mining. They also create employment opportunities for millions of people who work in the extraction, refining, distribution, and consumption of fossil fuels. According to a report by the International Energy Agency, IEA, the fossil fuel industry employed about 40 million people worldwide, and a third benefit of fossil fuels is that they generate revenues for governments. Fossil fuels are a major source of income for many countries that have large reserves or production of oil, gas, or coal. These revenues can be used to fund public services, infrastructure, social programs, and debt repayment. For example, in 2019, fossil fuel revenues accounted for about 40% of the total government revenues in Saudi Arabia. These are some of the potential benefits of fossil fuels for economic growth. However, these benefits come with significant costs and risks. Fossil fuels are the main cause of greenhouse gas emissions, which contribute to global warming and climate change. They also cause local air pollution, which harms human health and the environment. Moreover, fossil fuels are finite and non-renewable resources, which means that they will eventually run out or become too expensive to extract. Therefore, relying on fossil fuels for economic growth is not sustainable or desirable in the long term. The world needs to transition to cleaner and renewable sources of energy, such as solar, wind, hydro, and biofuels. These sources can also provide economic benefits, such as reducing energy costs, creating new jobs, enhancing energy security, and improving public health. According to a study by McKinsey & Company, decoupling economic growth from fossil fuel consumption is possible and profitable with existing technologies and policies. In conclusion, fossil fuels have played a key role in driving economic growth and development in the past centuries. But they also have serious negative impacts on the climate, the environment, and human well-being. The future of economic growth depends on shifting away from fossil fuels and embracing renewable energy sources that are cleaner, cheaper, and more abundant.